Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and the official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel is at it again. Now he is trying to talk to the Wolf of Wall Street. Remember, the Wolf of Wall Street's Jordan Belfort, and today he said he's a big XRP holder. So I think Mr. Cool Guy is trying to take advantage of the situation.
Morning, Mr. Belfort. The XRP Army needs you to report for duty. We need a wolf, a resilient one. We're asking you for a small favor. XRP is a digital asset. A company called Ripple uses that asset. The SEC sued Ripple and said all sales that they did were securities. But whoever wrote that lawsuit must have been on Quaaludes, because they said all sales of XRP to date are securities, and that's not true. I buy XRP. I know I'm not investing in Ripple. But us sick bastards, we joined the lawsuit as defendants. The case may settle soon, but that's why we're positioned before the settlement's announced. But right now we're in that yacht, in that storm, and just like you were pulled out, we need you to pull us out. We're asking you to retweet this or make a video for your following. Make them aware of the lawsuit. Tell them to be a part of history. And if you don't, that's all right. We're not leaving. We're not fucking leaving. The show must go on.
All right. So he's trying to get the attention of Belfort. I like it. For John Deaton's lawsuit. And by the way, if you haven't joined John Deaton's lawsuit, I'll show you here. If you look here, go to John Deaton's lawsuit. This is the class action lawsuit against the SEC. It's the pinned tweet right here. Okay? All right. Now, moving along. I want to show you this clip, and then I will read to you my commentary. This is Mike Novogratz on stage with
the
Brad
crypto community.
Right here.
The crypto community, the guys on stage and our brothers and sisters that are building these businesses didn't do a good enough job, certainly in the United States, but everywhere, educating politicians, educating regulators. That's all changing. And so I'm confident that certainly in the U.S. over the next 12 to 18 months, we get better regulation, more clarity. And I'm confident.
Now, first thing I want to mention is I forgot to credit at Bank XRP on here. Forgot to put that up here, but that guy's a definite follow on Twitter, and he's got this came from his YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and follow or subscribe to Bank XRP. He's old school. Now, what Mike Novogratz just said, I think Mike Novogratz has been doing a lot of behind covering the last week or two, because if I had to bet, he doesn't want everybody to focus on going and finding his old videos on YouTube and whatnot. But I wanted to make a correction. He's talking about how, let's see how he says it again.
The crypto community, the guys on stage and our brothers and sisters that are building these businesses didn't do a good enough job, certainly in the United States, but everywhere, educating politicians, educating regulators.
Wrong. Oh, Mike, you're wrong on that one, and you know you're wrong. It wasn't that they didn't do a good job with this. The correction is they tried to get your buddies tried to get a free pass for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they wanted to slam the door on the rest of crypto, and they got caught. They did not count on John Deaton, and they didn't count on social media. They didn't count on us. And we exposed them all. We have all the video. We have all the documents. And it's all facts, and most importantly, it's the truth. We have it, okay? But no, it wasn't that they did a bad time. It was bad time educating them or whatever. Baloney. They got exposed, and so yes, now that's all changing supposedly. But we're not done until it does change. I'm not interested in talk. And maybe we're gonna just let Ethereum have a free pass, and everything else will just have to worry about going and seeing Gary Gensler. No, we're not into maybes here. We don't stop until the wrong is righted, until we have a level playing field. And remember, any of you listening out there, we have it all, and we keep digging every day, and we won't stop. Okay, now this is from Digital Perspectives. So Gary Gensler says it's very clear when crypto is a security or not, but CFTC, this guy who's the acting chair, says 60% of the $2.7 trillion crypto market are commodities. How about we sit both of you down and sort this 60-40 split out? So check this out.
But this is the tip of the iceberg. As of yesterday, the total size of the digital asset market was $2.7 trillion. And among that $2.7 trillion, nearly 60% were commodities. So,
well, I actually think that the securities laws are pretty clear on this, sir. And I think that firms should just come in and register.
as of yesterday, the total size of the digital asset market was $2.7 trillion. And among that $2.7 trillion, nearly 60% were commodities. So
I think there's a lot of clarity, this Howey test and about the platforms. And then I'll get to your point about
So we got two major agencies of the government, and they don't seem to agree. But meanwhile, Gary Gensler says it's very clear. It's not clear at all, never has been. Gary Gensler knows that. He's just flat out not telling the truth. And it's pretty sad. It's a pretty sad day for our country when we have the chairman of one of the major agencies of this country that sits up there with a straight face and tells a bold-faced lie, and he knows it's a lie. This guy's not stupid. He knows it. Okay, now, speaking of lies, watch this, folks. I found this today. Now, I was telling you the other day that I was looking through the book called The Infinite Machine, written by, I'll tell you her name in a minute. I was looking through this book it's a book about Ethereum. And there's a guy that's mentioned in this book. His name's Stephen Narioff. And from reading the parts, this guy was literally the legal guy who was in charge before the Ethereum ICO. He was in charge of going and making sure that they didn't issue a security. And so if you read it or if you listen to these videos, it is pure word games. I call it word salads. It is pure BS that they all came up with to try to get around securities laws. And then not only was it word salad BS, once Ethereum had the letter in hand to go and that made them think they could go and issue it and it wasn't a security, they proceeded to break almost every rule that the lawyer's opinion had given them. And I'll show you that too. And we have video to prove it. We have one of the rules that the law firm, it was called Pryor Cashman, they gave them an opinion letter. And in that opinion letter, Pryor Cashman said, you can't sell this thing. You can't sell it to speculators. It can't be for speculators. Well, we got video of Joseph Lubin himself saying that some of this will be sold to speculators. They didn't even abide by the rules that the law firm that gave them the opinion letter said to abide by. Okay. But back to this guy. So this guy is the early advisor to the Ethereum founders. And I found this clip. This is from around 2018. But here's what you're going to find out in this clip that we did not know until I found this clip. I don't think anybody knew it. You're going to find out that the SEC, we knew that they were talking to Ethereum. But you're going to find out that the SEC more or less gave the nod to the Ethereum people on the whole, that stupid thing that Joseph Lubin's in all these videos where I've shown you where he says they were selling a product and not they were selling a product. This is not a whatever, but it's a product. The gas is like a product. And the first time I saw Joseph Lubin say it, you could smell the BS all over it. Well, apparently, not only did the SEC know that they were going to do that, but they said they loved it. Watch this. You're not going to believe it. Listen to this guy.
But he said to me, he said, the problem is our lawyers are telling us this is an illegal securities offering, which in fact it was. So I was charged with trying to figure out a very simple thing. Raise money and not go to prison. Right? Orange is not my best color, by the way. So we were, he held off, these guys are like wolves, right? I mean, the founding team of Ethereum wanted to move. And one of the guys actually even said to me, I don't really care about prison, I'm a Canadian citizen. And I said, can we somehow say that this is not a security, it's not a currency, but somehow this is a good, maybe service? Head of the SEC is a gentleman by the name of Joe Grunfest. If anybody's familiar with the SEC, he's probably the most prolific chairman of the SEC of the last 75 years. And sheepishly the next morning said, you know, I said, after our third drink last night, we came up with this concept, and I said we, because I didn't want to say me, and I said, you know, can we say this is a good, because it actually forms some kind of function if you have to send it and you have to use this gas to send it. And I said, I'm sure it doesn't work, right? Okay, that's fine. And I got a pause for about 10 seconds, ready to say that was the stupidest idea I've ever heard. And his response was, that's brilliant. And said, I think that could actually work. He spoke to some folks at the SEC. They loved the idea. They thought that actually made a lot of sense. And that's the genesis of what's called today. Has somebody heard what a utility coin is?
Okay, so let me tell you, before I get into any more of this, I want to tell you what I think has happened with this whole security issue and all. I believe that early on, there was a lot of people at the SEC that were acting in good faith for the crypto industry as a whole. I believe that there are a lot of good guys in this story that may have been in some of these situations where you may assume that they're bad guys. I don't think that's the case. I think Joseph Grunfest is one of the good guys. I think that he, and here's an article that kind of, so we know that he has talked to, he's the guy that told Jay Clayton he shouldn't file the lawsuit. I think Joseph Grunfest kind of acted like as an advisor. He was an unpaid advisor to Ethereum, by the way. But I believe he acted like as an advisor to a lot of projects in good faith. I think he's one of the good guys. I think that I think a lot of these people were good guys. I think Nancy Wotos, she was in the venture capital working group, but I think she was one of the good guys that was acting in good faith for the industry as a whole. I think somewhere along the way by 2018, there were some bad guys involved that were trying to, that had some bright idea that, hey, this XRP is a threat. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Bitcoin and Ethereum through this security door, and then we're going to slam it shut on all the others. That way we will have a monopoly of sorts. That's what I think happened here. I don't think everybody like involved in the venture capital working group was doing that. I don't think everybody had that intention, but I think some of them did. And then I think people like Nancy Wotos found out after the fact that's what was going on. That's what I think. Okay, so now this is from the book, The Infinite. This story he just told on stage. Well, this section of The Infinite Machine outlines the story. It has functionality, it has utility, so effectively people are paying for this ability to send Ether and eventually the ability to build dApps and to fuel these dApps. That makes sense to me, Vitalik said. With Vitalik on board, the step was to bounce the concept off Joe Grunfest, whom Stephen saw as a legal godfather to the process, even if it wasn't officially involved. So I have this idea. Stephen sheepishly said over the phone. He explained the concept of Ether as a good or utility ready for Grunfest to say, I don't know why I've been wasting my time with you. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and hang up. Instead, Joe agreed Ether must have utility in the network to steer it further away from the securities definition, which that's reasonable. Stephen was really taken aback. This thing might actually work, he thought, and he brought the concept to Prior Cashman. Grunfest said he ultimately gave the Ethereum team two pieces of advice. The first is to try and make the Ether immediately useful, okay? So, bottom line is he was trying to help them in good faith. What's not said in this is the part he said in that video I just showed you where Grunfest calls the SEC. That is some new stuff. and it's pretty powerful stuff in my opinion. And then I said this in 2014, Prior Cashman gave Ethereum founders an opinion letter giving them a green light to ICO. We have video of their own words multiple times breaking almost every rule in the letter. This is why they later needed Hinman. The Infinite Machine by Camilla Russo. These are the excerpts. Back in New York, Stephen, Charles, Vitalik, and the other Ethereans sat at a bar when they got the long-awaited email from the offices of Prior Cashman. At last, their law firm's opinion letter had arrived. We are of the opinion that while there is no guarantee of outcome or result, a court ruling on this issue under existing reported decisional authority would more likely than not regard Ether pre-sale not to be offering securities subject to Section 5 Securities Act draft of the letter said, referring to the section that makes it unlawful to sell a security without registering it. Okay, now I might split this video up into two because it's kind of getting long, and if I do, you'll know what I did. Okay, so moving along. Now, this is the same guy, Steve Narioff. Wait, did I show the second part of that? No, I didn't. So here's the second part. In a supporting document listing the firm's facts and assumptions, the lawyers wrote that they expected the Ethereum Foundation will promote the exchange of Ether in a manner consistent with the distribution of a product and not as a speculative investment, and that it won't make any commitments to potential pre-sale participants to continue developing or maintaining the Ethereum platform after the creation of the Genesis block. All right, so we know for a fact this part right here, we will promote the exchange of Ether in a manner consistent with the distribution of a product and not as a speculative investment. Well, we have Joseph Lubin himself on tape calling it a speculative, that he said we're going to sell it to some speculators and we're going to disguise, for whales, we're going to help disguise the transactions, the purchases. All right, now we've got Stephen Narioff, early advisor to Ethereum founders. Here he is again, folks. The hits keep on coming.
I was very, very, very fortunate that not a couple of years after that, I got involved in a project called Ethereum, and my job at that project was to figure out the legal framework within which to issue, we were calling it a crowd sale at the time, which has now become the ICO, and that was the genesis of the utility token. Yes. And so it's the law of unintended consequences as to what's kind of happened. I've been involved in a lot of ICOs since then. I was very, very...
Okay, then we have this. This TAIG XRP put this out. Whoa! MV raised a total of approximately 55,677 Ethereum during the pre-sale period on behalf of the company. This is the complaint from the U.S. District Court, United States of America, against Stephen Narioff and Michael Hlady. I do not know, also known as Michael Peters. I don't know anything about this case, but I know that this guy the U.S. government has come after him. And I don't know who MV is, and I don't know who Jane Doe and all. There's like a Jane Doe and a John Doe, but this is interesting nonetheless. Now, remember this little clip? This guy right here, his name is Adam Sterling. Okay, watch this.
See, on a number of fronts, one of them being Andreessen Horowitz reached out to the chairman when he made a speech at Stanford saying, we're going after the lawyers, we're going after the accountants, and sat down with him, and what the chairman of the SEC said was, look, form a small working group and come up with some suggestions, pretty much saying, look, we're tired of talking to people about the Howey test. Put some real practical suggestions together. So Andreessen Horowitz, together with Union Square Ventures, sat down with three law firms, McDermott, Will & Emery, Perkins Coie, and Cooley, all of whom had a fairly significant crypto practice, together with two academics, Joe Grunfest and Adam.
Adam is Adam Sterling. And today, see, when you live and breathe Ripple and XRP and crypto and SEC versus Ripple the way I do, when you hear names, things just pop up. So today, Ripple added a bunch of videos to their official YouTube channel, and this was one of them. Recognize any names there?
All right, everyone, and pleasure to be here. My name is Adam Sterling. I'm the executive director of the Berkeley Center for Law and Business.
So here's what I haven't reviewed this video yet, but here's what you have, folks. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. We have Adam Sterling, who is one of the guys with Joseph Grunfest that we just talked about in this video. Adam Sterling, and they're the two academics that were in the venture capital working group that worked on Ethereum's free pass. Go figure. I don't know. Look, folks, this I don't even know what file this goes in. Maybe it goes in the All the World's Stage file. I don't know. I've been in this for 3+ years and I'm totally confused. Maybe all these people just all know each other, and I know that there's a lot of bad stuff in this whole thing. But like I said, I think there were good guys involved in, like, say, the venture capital working group. Maybe Adam Sterling is one of the good guys. Maybe Ripple knows that. I don't know. Maybe he was one of the guys that wanted clarity for the whole industry, and there were some people in it that didn't want that, or just had a goal to get clarity just for Ethereum and Bitcoin. We don't know. I'm hoping that one day I'm going to be sitting in someone's office somewhere talking about all this that went down, and it's going to be like the end of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and like Slugworth when he walked in the door and he had been working with Willy Wonka all along. I'm hoping that I can be a part of one of those rooms where something like that happens, if that's the kind of stuff we've been watching all this time, because this is one crazy story. And folks, I can tell you this for sure. There's not one movie, not 2 movies, not 3 movies, not 4 movies, but more like 5 movies in all of this, folks, when the history books are written. And look, don't know if I'll be in them or not, but trust me on this, I'm not going to really care, because I'm tired. I've been fighting the good fight and working my butt off for my children's futures, and that's really what this is about. Okay, go to link to, folks. They added more Ripple and Uphold to the platform, linqto.com. They're one of my sponsors. I'm their customer. I bought I've bought Ripple. I bought Uphold. I bought some Kraken. I'm sorry. I think I bought some Kraken, and I bought some Link to. So look, I'm all into these blockchain related companies. Picks and shovels, people. Picks and shovels. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that it's not just about picks, or it's not just about shovels. It's about picks and shovels. Thanks for